Welcome to Blake Street Banter, where one of us knows what the word banter means. The other two are just along for the ride. Tyler Pador, say what's up.
What up? What up?
And we are joined by Tyler Burch. How you doing, big dog?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. Thank you for joining us, coming on, doing this thing with us. Got to know, how is spring training in Arizona going for you? You spent some time in Florida, but you're now in the big AZ. How's it going?
It's been good. Yeah, the facility is amazing. It's nice that, everybody's in one spot. That makes it pretty convenient. With the Orioles, we had two separate facilities, so a lot of back and forth. But no, I love it. The coaching staff is great. I'm meeting a lot of new guys, and it's been good. So,
Any familiar faces in the organization once you got here? Did you really know anybody?
So I actually haven't talked to him yet, but I played collegiate summer ball with Tolia back in 2016, and then Jack O'Loughlin. We share the same agent, so he's from Australia. I've played baseball over in Australia, so we have a lot of connections that way. But those are the only two guys that I knew coming into the Rockies org.
That makes sense. Adam McKilligan, we'll get into it. I don't know if you'll see him. I know he's rehabbing. He's doing some stuff, but he played in NAIA. He played at Gwinnett and what was the school? The British Columbia.
UBC.
Yeah.
University of British Columbia. Yep. They were in my conference. So I played against them a lot.
Yeah. So do you recognize the name?
I don't know how old he is.
You guys might have crossed paths. We'll get Mike on it, aka Tyler. We'll look it up real quick. Because I was trying to figure it out because he won the NAIA World Series with Gwinnett in 2021.
Okay,
but he was with BC in like 18-19.
Okay,
that.
I played at Lewis Clark State from 2016 to 2019.
So there might have been some crossover.
There may have been.
And you guys are the same age, like both 27 right now. So.
Oh, okay. I don't recognize the name, but I'm sure we played against each other.
Yeah, he's a big Canadian. He'll stand out to you if you see him. Just say what's up, Big Maple, and tell him Blake Street Banter sent you. And
okay,
that'll be able to break the ice. If I don't know where he's at though. I know he's rehabbing. He's had some work done, and he's on the mend. So he should hopefully you see him soon. But so let's just get into it. NAIA started up in Idaho Falls, right? Lewis and Clark in Lewiston.
In Lewiston.
Lewiston, Idaho. But you played ball in middle of Washington, high school ball. Like, how did all that start?
Yep. So I grew up in Washington State. I was born in California, moved up north for my dad's job. Went through most of grade school, high school in a town called East Wenatchee, Washington. It's about 2 hours west of Spokane. So played high school ball there, and my collegiate summer coach played at Lewis Clark State, and that was kind of the bridge. Set me up with the workout there, through there, and they liked me, and I went straight there.
Like, no questions asked. Like, all right,
so
you're good.
Yeah. So my dad grew up in Lewiston, and I remember growing up and going to the NAIA World Series because they host it. That's where the site is, and I remember growing up and watching those games, and as soon as they offered me, I knew I was going to go there.
That's awesome. I bet your parents were kind of happy about that too, like not having to worry about all the stress that goes along with that.
They were ecstatic, and they lived close. My hometown is about 3.5 hours away. They were there every weekend. They watched me every weekend, and it was awesome.
Well, what was it like just growing up in that region, playing college ball up there? Because you think of Idaho, you don't connect it with college baseball. So just that whole region, what was the experience?
I truly think Idaho's a hidden gem. It's funny because now that I'm in Florida, East Coast, wherever it is, I tell people I played in Idaho, and they're like, "Where is that?" And they always say like, "How are the potatoes there?" Stuff like that. But I personally love it. I love the outdoors. I hunt and fish. And there's a lot of that there. Cold winters, warm summers, you get a lot of every season there. But baseball-wise, I mean, it was good. I think our shortest bus trip was like 5.5 hours. So, I mean, we're spread out through Oregon, Washington, British Columbia. So, yeah.
That's pretty fun. Like, Idaho, like we're learning more about Idaho the more we have conversations as well, because like the Spokane piece of it comes into play a lot.
Yep.
I like one of our friends of the pod, Braden Ward, played at UW quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
We have some people that grew up like he off seasons in Montana. And like
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, I'm just out here doing the thing. And so like we're
beautiful.
starting to know more about the Northwest up there.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'd spent most of my life there, and I will say now that I've been south for most of the years, you know, a little bit warmer. I think I'll live south when I'm a little bit older. I don't know how I feel about snow anymore, but I mean it's definitely beautiful up there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
like when you go hunting, is it what do you like to go hunting for?
Elk specifically.
Big elk hunting. All right.
Yeah,
Nice.
me and my dad, we go every year.
Are you ever successful? I know it's tough.
For me, it's about every other year. Yeah, but you know, it kind of just depends.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've harvested a couple over the years.
That's good work because my stepdad goes quite a bit in Montana. They're up in Montana now, and so he goes and it's like, yeah, it wasn't a good season for elk. We'll get him next year. But he does that every year. So
yeah, no, I can
thing.
understand it. I just enjoy being out there. I mean, even if I don't, you know, come out there successful, I enjoy being disconnected for 8 to 10 days. You know, we get so consumed with our phones and social media every single day. It's nice to kind of have that mental reset. And, you know, like I said, I just enjoy being up there. So.
Yeah, love that. I mean, mental reset coming into the Colorado Rockies organization. I tried to do a transition there. I don't know if it was as good as it could have been, but I don't think I mentioned earlier, but you joined the Rockies organization by the MiLB Rule 5 process from the Baltimore Orioles organization. So you spent some time in Bowie, spent some time playing against the Yard Goats a little bit.
Yep.
I guess, how did that process go? We have no idea who's ever eligible for the MiLB Rule 5 stuff. Do you have any idea you're eligible?
Well,
like, how does that go?
So you are eligible after your 4th season.
Okay.
So everybody, when they get drafted, signed, you have 7 years on your contract, your minor league contract, and after year 4, you become eligible. And to protect you for the minor league Rule 5, they have to put you on the AAA roster. Protect you for the big league Rule 5, they have to put you on the 40-man. And it just so happened that this offseason I wasn't put on the AAA roster, and I got picked up. So.
And how are you viewing that then?
It you know, it shows that they value me in one way or another. So I mean, it feels pretty good.
And then you had that time in Arizona Fall League because you had that injury the last few years. What was the end of 23?
Yes.
Some kind of injury, right?
Yep. And then I ended up getting surgery at the beginning of 24. I tried throwing through it for a couple months and building back up, and we thought it would be best to go the surgery route. Spent 4 months rehabbing, rehab assignment for about a month, and then pitched in the Fall League.
Yeah, how are you feeling now? You got to pitch a little at the end of 24 and then ran into the Fall League. Just it's been a bit of a journey for you health-wise. So how are you feeling right now in March of 25?
I'm feeling great. I kind of had a late start to my buildup, so I'm throwing bullpens, feeling good. So yeah, no, I'm feeling good, and I'm excited for the 2025 season.
Sweet.
Yeah. Like Isaac says in this chat, pick 2nd overall in the AAA phase is impressive in its own right. Like, I would 100% agree with that. Like, there's only 1 second pick, and the fact that the Rockies selected you from the Bay Sox, the Orioles is kind of telling, right? Like, that's pretty cool. So like, you're coming from the Orioles organization. Tell us a little bit about your arsenal. I know you have a pretty nice fastball with a little off speed and the changeup going with it.
Yeah.
What is the off speed? Where are we sitting at with the fastball? How are we feeling going into 2025 with the arsenal?
Just to go over my arsenal, I got fastball, cutter, slider, changeup. I added the cutter midway through the 2023 season, and that turned into one of my best pitches. I go to that a lot. It used to be my slider, but now I go to the hard, gyro slider, cutter type pitch, and I seem to have found more success with that, steal more strikes, get a lot of weak contact with it. Changeup, I'm still trying to throw that a little bit more. But yeah, always confident in my fastball, just gripping it and ripping it. But, that's kind of, my MO.
Has that always been your MO? So going back to Lewis and Clark time to where you are now, have you always had that big fastball? Like you're sitting around what, mid 90s, high 90s?
Mid to upper.
Okay.
I've kind of been anywhere from 95 to 99. But I was a late bloomer in college. It's a whole story in itself, but I was 90, 92 as a starter. When I got signed, I was actually a free agent pick in 2019. I wasn't drafted. So when people ask me like, "Oh, what round were you drafted?" I just say 41st round.
Way easier than explaining it. I feel that.
But I was a late bloomer. Got with the Phillies org, and they kept me as a starter for that summer. I was throwing about 90, 93 up in Williamsport for short season back when we had that. And then that off season was when I started throwing weighted balls, started doing, that Driveline-esque type program. And my velo went up from 90 to 93 to 94, 96. And yeah, kind of just took off from there.
Have you touched 100 in game before?
No,
I know you've got that 9 on there.
I wish. I want it bad. I'm gonna try to get it this year.
That's awesome. How much fun was it to learn a new pitch like the cutter? Like
it was pretty hard at first because when you're put in an environment where you always have to be on your A game, right? It's always audition every single day, right? When you add a new pitch, you may not have 100% confidence in it, and to throw it in a game, it takes a lot of confidence in yourself and the work that you've put in the preparation. And I just slowly over time, in 0-0 counts or those, I don't know, earlier in counts was when I would throw it, try to build confidence in a game with it. And then slowly over time, I was like, hey, this is actually a pretty good pitch. I should, use this to my advantage. And, now it's one of my favorite pitches. So
that's awesome. And how does that conversation go with the catcher and the coaching staff with that pitch? Like you're saying, I'm going to start throwing it a little bit earlier. Is that your decision, like to do it in, or are you guys like building that up? Like, how does that go?
Yeah, because I would say like an 0-0 count it's a lot more comfortable of a time to throw it than like a 3-0 count, right? Like, or like a 3-1, So, I mean, just trying to pick times in the count when, you just let it eat and see what happens. And, that was kind of my thought process with it. And then, yeah, like I said, as confidence, started to build with that, then I can throw it 3-0. I don't care now. So
that's great. Like that arsenal coming into play. Like I love the high 90s and then the cutter. Cutter's probably one of my favorite pitches to watch just as a fan. Just like when you have that strong bite with that speed to it, like it's something different. So it's gonna be fun to watch you in that sense, like going forward. Like, all right, whether you're in Hartford or Albuquerque, it's like, all right, we're gonna see this cutter here. Like we're gonna need to see it. We're gonna see it on the 3-0, the 0-0. Not that there will ever be any 3-0 counts, but like
it doesn't matter the count. You might see it. So
that's awesome. I love that. You've had some time in Hartford. Have you pitched in Hartford?
Yes, I did once. We opened up there at the start of the 2023 season. It was cold. I remember that. But that stadium's awesome.
Yeah, we hear a lot of different vibes about Duncan Park, especially with like the weird right field, the double decker right field, but the massive center field out there. It's just always fun to get kind of people's take on it. Players, fun.
I've only thrown one inning there, so I mean, just from the environment to, I mean, I didn't give up a run that inning, so I had a good experience there. But no, I enjoyed it. It was a long bus trip to get there, which kind of sucked, but besides that, it was, it was a cool place to pitch. They get good fans too, so.
Yeah, a lot of people love going to the Hartford Yard Goats games. It's a good environment, good people out there. All right, 15 minutes is up. We got to know your arsenal. We got to get to know a little bit about your NAIA stint. So we're gonna ask the tough questions now. Before we get out of here. I got two for you.
Okay.
First one is you're going from Bowie to Hartford. You're stopping at a gas station. What snacks? I had you set up so good that was awesome. What are your go-to snacks for the car ride? Like what are you grabbing off the shelves?
Oh man, it's kind of. That's a really good question. I'm not a huge snacker. I don't know. I don't really talk about this much. I don't try to make it a big deal, but I am type 1 diabetic. So I try to avoid all of the sugary stuff as much as I can.
Yep.
But I do drink diet soda, so I would probably grab something like that. And then if I wanted, a carb-filled snack, I'd probably grab Pringles or, something like that, but nothing too crazy.
Pringles has been a very common answer. We've been
I love 'em.
asking everybody. Like Jordan Beck said, I'll grab any snack of Pringles out there. Brendan Hardy said it's got to be the cheddar cheese, the cheddar cheese flavor. So if you get to meet him, ask about the Pringles connection there.
Oh yeah,
I'm surprised by how hot it is right now because my kids are asking for Pringles all the time too. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like Pringles have been out of my life for the last 15 years, but yet here I am. Last 2 months, it's just Pringles like every other night. It's wild.
Yeah, I love them. So,
and then my very favorite question to ask. You get to be completely 100% selfish when you answer this.
Okay,
what is your favorite baseball moment for you personally?
It would probably be, it was my freshman year in college. It was when we won the NAIA World Series. Yeah. That year we were dominant. We went, I think it was like 52-8, and we just rolled through the World Series. I mean, that was just an awesome group to be a part of. And it was something that I watched my whole life, and to finally experience it was definitely like an amazing feeling and experience for myself, my family, my teammates, and everything like that. So.
Love that. I love those kind of answers too. The team oriented answers are always fun. And when you get a World Series, that's always cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and McKillican have that in common too. And little NAIA and Lewiston connection there.
Yeah. I won 2 of them there. It was in 2016 and 2017. So
okay.
That's got awesome. A ring for each hand,
Yeah, but we got a lot of hate because all the way up until it was after my senior year, we got the auto bid. So the way that it worked is because we hosted, theoretically we could go 0-50 and we would be in the World Series.
Yeah.
But we were never like that. We were always good. We were always good, and teams hated us for it. It was no matter what we did that year, we were in the World Series, and we got a lot of hate for that. But I mean, we backed it up. So
yeah, I mean, you're going 52-8. The haters can kind of stay off over there.
Yeah, exactly.
That is okay. Tyler, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for being part of the Colorado organization. And we are watching. We got you. We'll hype you up as much as we can. It's one of our most fun things to do as this season goes. Go do your thing.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me. It's been a fun experience.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch.
All right, take care, guys.
See you, man.
See you, Tyler.
Bye.